The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 308 of Daily Deck Review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is the Ralph Stead Flying Dog Edition number 2. So, with further ado, let's take a look and see what we get. So here we can see we got the Ralph Stead Art Collection Flying Dog Edition. This is edition number 2, so version number 2, second edition in the series, in a matte finish tuck box with a little bit of a glossy finish, like accents on the tuck box. Yeah, it's more of like it might be like a white kind of like tuck box underneath, but it has more of a green kind of tinge to it. Yeah, you got the Ralph Stead kind of logo there, our collection, and then Flying Dog edition at the bottom. And you got the character like face there in the front, and it's kind of more like an art because it says art collection, so it's more like a art kind of painting kind of style. So it has like more of a paint splatter style to it. Then it says over here, don't draw Ralph. It's a filthy habit. There. It's more like that kind of like hand painted art splatter kind of design for the tuck box with a bunch of art splatters all over. On one side it says illustrated by Ralph Steadman. More art splatter, more paint splatters. Other side says Flying Dog Edition 2. There. On the bottom it says Edition 2 with that little Flying Dog little logo. On the back, it's more paint splatters. The Flying Dog logo and Edition number 2. And here you got a red stamp style seal here with the Flying Dog logo in edition number 2 and a little white border. On the top it says premium playing cards there. And the little character on the front and plus the little lettering and the Flying Dog logo on the back are embossed so you can feel like the textures of it. Definitely the Flying Dog logo is more embossed than the front of the tuck box, but it's definitely still embossed. Now on the tuck flap, it's got more of that kind of paint splatter. Same thing as the two inner tuck flaps. Now if we take the cards out of the box, on the inside tuck box, it is just plain white. Nothing too crazy or fancy going on there. It would have been kind of cool if that paint splatter was throughout the inside of the tuck box. But you get what you get. So still not a bad tuck box. And now for the cards you get with the deck. Here we start with the back design. Here. And it's a mirrored background with the standard white border going around, and you got that circle kind of design there in the middle there, with that little uh, character that was seen on the front of the tuck box there, that kind of like paint splattered face there, with some kind of little circle design behind it. Then you got that white background with a more green tinge, and then all the different paint splatters, and then the flying dog little logo there in each corner. And there's a mirrored background, so if you flipped over, same design in both directions. Now for the card you get. Here we start with the first Joker. It says Joker Joker there, and that kind of hand painted like splattery kind of font. Then you got that definitely like some kind of paint splatter kind of face, because you can kind of see a little bit of a face, like an eye, and then like the mouth, and then the rest of it's kind of like the head shape. There, so it's definitely like a big paint splatter, some kind of Ralph Steadman kind of art piece there, and it's even signed by a little signature down there at the bottom. And then the second Joker says Joker Joker there, and then it's in the black font instead of like the red hand painted like font there. Then you're gonna get another little creature there. It has more of like a paint splatter kind of design to it there, and it has a creature that has just feet, no arms, big red nose, big red smile there, and the Ralph Steadman little signature at the bottom once again. And then you kind of got a little special thanks here. It says special thanks to the Ralph Steadman Art Collection, and it's kind of like a collaboration between the Ralph Steadman Art Collection and Flying Dog Brewery, and then the Stark Stark Raven Group and Art of Play. So Art of Play kind of like what's it called help like send these out, like not produce them. What's the word? Oh, I can't think of it. and they want to like ship them out and stuff. So yeah, and this is where I got the deck is from Art of Play. And there's all the people that are collaborating with the deck, and you got a little bit more of that kind of paint splatter kind of design and theme, and then you kind of got a little flying dog like kind of little thing here. It says First Amendment defenders for over 25 years. Flying Dogs is a craft beer's most disobedient brewery. For 2 decades, they've been partnered with legendary Gonzo artist Ralph Steadman to create label, art, and rebellious as their beer. Disobedient beer, flyingdog.com, and then a little bit more of that kind of like paint splatters in the blue color and the Flying Dog logo at the top there. And on the back is just that background. And then for the custom Ace of Spades, it's pretty much a simplistic Ace of Spades there. You can tell it's that kind of hand-drawn, kind of hand-painted style there, with the little paint splatters around. And then it kind of goes throughout the rest of the deck, like a more hand-painted style to it, where the pips aren't like the smoothest and crispiest kind of lines ever. They're more like jagged and kind of like messy kind of style. So it's kind of like you hand-painted them. So even the numbers in the corners are like that hand-painted. So not all the pips are the same. Like they're all like different. They're not all the same kind of like style to it. And then one of them has that little paint splatter through it. And then the Jack, Queen, and King spades are fully custom. They left no detail out. So I won't be able to fully describe what I'm seeing because you might interpret something different to these. But they do have a little bit of a face to it. There you got like some faces to it, and some of them you can see like dogs on there. So you got like the little there's because they are collaborating with the brewery. So you got the little barrel there and the little dog there. There, and the king has a little bit of a border, but then the jack and the queen are more like a paint splatter kind of like style there, with some faces mixed in. And then you got the diamonds here, custom ace of diamonds, has that paint splatter style to it there, and like the more hand drawn kind of like painted style. That goes through with the diamonds again, more painted style. And then the jack, queen, and king of diamonds, fully custom once again, and they're super fully custom. So you can kind of see the dog here. On the jack, you some kind of see some little creature there on the queen, the green little creature there. And then you kind of see like another dog, but with like 3 heads here on the king of diamonds. Same with that border once again. And then the clubs, Jack, Queen, and King of clubs, fully custom once again. And 3 different kind of like art styles. Like the Jack has the little dog on it. And then the King and the Queen have some kind of creatures there. And it says a 3-eyed wild man there on the King of clubs. Yeah, so definitely fully artistic there and lots of details within those core cards. And then the jack, and then the rest of the cards here are that same kind of painted style for the pips or the clubs. And lastly, the hearts, Jack, Queen, and King of hearts, full custom once again. And they're like kind of like 3 dogs on each of them. So you kind of got 3 different style dogs here, kind of. Yeah, so still fully custom and lots of detail within these core cards. Pretty nice core cards. And then that painted style for the hearts. And now that we've seen what the cards look like, time to test that handling. And first we'll start with the springs. And I gotta say, they're pretty smooth for that first one, and a little bit like slippery, but they're definitely smooth. They definitely have like a good flex to it, like they flex like a lot. So if you're into like thinner decks, then this is a nice thin deck. I prefer more like slightly stiffer than this, but it's not terrible. You definitely want to like spring in your hands. A little bit loose, but not too terrible. Pretty smooth though. The cards are probably a little bit slippery. Not too bad. Still pretty smooth springs. Now on to the fans. You can see all those like paint splatters on the edges there. Kind of make a little bit of a pattern there. And it's just the way the cards fan, but they still fan pretty nicely. They spread pretty evenly. You can see some of the pips and some of the numbers, just the way they're set up. Like they do spread pretty good. You just can't really see the numbers that well for some reason, but still pretty smooth. Now time for the Pharaoh. Now for giant fan of the back design. Oh, and the Pharaoh that interlocked and weaved pretty flawlessly there. And nice and smooth. And now for that reverse Pharaoh. The reverse Pharaoh wasn't as smooth. I definitely had to slightly push and shovel them together. But they interlocked and weaved decently. Now for that giant fan of the faces. Now time for the riffle shuffle or bridge shuffle. Well, pretty smooth riffle shuffles. Nothing overly crazy about them. It might be a little bit of a softer kind of riffle, but not too bad. Like they're still pretty smooth though. So no real issues with the riffle shuffles or bridge shuffles. And now we move on to the packet cuts. Well, the packet cuts are pretty nice. They pack it pretty good. They nice and packety and slippery from time to time, but not like overly slippery. We have to worry about it too much. So pretty nice and packety there. Nice pack cuts. Pretty average though compared to like other decks. Now for that one-handed cut or Chevalier cut. And now time for the dribble. Oh yeah, these are nice and smooth. These dribbles are so satisfying. Oh yeah, these dribbles are definitely smooth. There's definitely no issues with these. This deck dribbles fantastic. Oh, sorry there, I got a little carried away doing those dribbles. They're just so fun and so smooth. Now time for that spread thin. If they don't slide out of my hands. But it's always a deck review tradition for at least one card to slide out of my hands. And lastly, spread the cards on the table. Well, I gotta say, this is a pretty nice and interesting style deck here. You got that nice mirrored back design with that kind of paint splatter design and that kind of like art piece there on the back. Which looks pretty nice there. And then for the faces, they are fully custom. You got that kind of like hand painted kind of pip style there, where they're not like the perfect like straight lines for each pip there. And then the court cards here are fully custom with some different art pieces and art styles there. Well, same art style, I guess, but like, with that kind of paint splatter theme throughout the whole deck. And no court card is the same. And there's like I think there's 12 court cards. I can't quite remember, but like you got a different art piece on each one. And it's unique. Overall, fantastic design for the deck. Like the artwork in this deck is incredible. There. So shout out to Ralph Steadman, fantastic artist. There. And then for the handling of the deck, the handle fantastic. A little bit like a thinner of a stock, but not terrible there. I'm used to all different types of thicknesses and stuff and stocks and finishes to decks, so it doesn't bother me too much. Kind of have to get used to it when you review so many decks. But the handle, fantastic, nice and smooth in every way. I found no real issues there other than the cards being a little bit thinner. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. This has been day 308 of Daily Deck Review. This has been the Ralph Steadman Art Collection Flying Dogs Edition 2. And I'm the Canadian Card Collector signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.